pop, 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 pop.
Ma'am, I'm gonna cut your seatbelt, okay? I'm Officer Lipper with the Denver Police Department, okay?
Alright, they're just about ready.
I counted 8 shots.
8?
Yeah, there's one right above the left windshield wiper. So that's 2 out of, like right there.
The license plate, that's probably hers.
That's the same one as on the back.
Okay, that's probably hers.
I'm just gonna keep some pressure on him, okay?
Yeah.
Hey, she took quite a few, about 4 or 5 rounds to the face.
How many? Is just she the only victim?
She's the only victim. She's totally bleeding.
It was just past 10:45 p.m. when the city of Denver fell into an uneasy quiet. The streets were not deserted, only subdued. At the intersection of Colfax Avenue and Interstate 25, a Honda idled at a red light. Moments later, a Range Rover approached from behind. As it slowed to a stop, it clipped the rear bumper of the Honda, an impact so slight it was barely a crash, but enough to set in motion a chain of events that no one could have foreseen. Then, without warning, a hooded figure emerged from the Honda, a gun gripped tightly in his hand. There was no hesitation. A barrage of bullets, 15, perhaps 20, tore through the night, shattering the quiet as they ripped into the Range Rover. And as if to make certain the message was clear, the shooter slid back into the driver's seat, leaned out the window, and unleashed 2 final shots before the Honda sped away into the darkness. That same night, Jaden was simply making her way home. It was just another ordinary drive through Denver, until the red light at Colfax turned into something far more sinister.
Pop, 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 pop. At first, it didn't register what was happening until the cars in the 2 lanes next to me started going.
Sharp, cracking pops echoed across the intersection, each one louder, more urgent than the last. Cars in the lanes beside her crept forward, their drivers desperate to escape the chaos. It was then she realized something terrible was unfolding right in front of her.
And then I realized I said, oh shit, something's happening, and I ducked down, and several more happened.
More shots rang out. When she finally lifted her head, her eyes caught a fleeting glimpse of the aftermath.
And I pulled next to the car, barely got a glance. It looked as though the window was either rolled down or shot out, but I believe that the window was out. I didn't look at the windshield or see inside the vehicle.
She couldn't see inside the vehicle, couldn't tell who had pulled the trigger.
And then the car that was in front of them sped off. I went behind them, but pretty far back because they went pretty quickly, and got off on Federal.
All she knew was that the silence of the night had been broken, and nothing would ever feel ordinary again. Jaden did not follow. Instead, she made her own turn, putting distance between herself and whatever violence had just erupted. She couldn't yet make sense of what she had seen, but one truth was clear. It was nothing good.
Got off on Federal, and I didn't obviously see what occurred because the car was obstructing my view, so I didn't know at the time if the shots came from the car in front or inside the vehicle, but that's what I saw.
In the moment, she hadn't counted the shots precisely. Her best guess was 5, maybe 7 at first.
I'm gonna call it 5 to 7, perhaps.
Then came a pause, just long enough for the tension to hang in the air, before more gunfire cracked through the silence.
Okay, and then you said you ducked down and heard several more pops. How many more do you think you heard?
Perhaps 3.
Jaden's mind was elsewhere that night. She had been driving home from an appointment, her thoughts far removed from the chaos that would soon engulf the intersection.
And you never saw anybody get in or out any vehicles?
No.
Okay.
I, in my mind, thought it was fireworks or something.
Sure.
And just wasn't paying attention.
At first, she tried to convince herself the sounds might be fireworks, but the echoes rolling down the street told a different story. Instinct took over before reason. She ducked, her body reacting faster than her mind could process. The sharp, staccato blasts left no doubt. It was gunfire. In that instant, she felt exposed, vulnerable, as if any stray bullet could find her. Pressed low in her seat, she braced herself, hoping the night would not end with the searing pain of metal tearing into her flesh.
I recognized the sound of gunshots, and I thought perhaps one was going to hit me.
Fear didn't strike Jaden immediately. It crept in afterward, a delayed reaction that lingered long after the echoes had faded. The thought gnawed at her. If she had been just a little closer, just a little slower, the night might have ended very differently. And Jaden wasn't the only one to witness the chaos. Many others felt the same chill of terror. Alex Martinez was driving home from a soccer game when the gunfire shattered the night. At first he hardly noticed. His music was turned up loud, drowning out the usual noise of the city. But then came the flashes, sudden bursts of light that cut through the darkness. His stomach dropped. Those weren't streetlights. And they weren't fireworks.
I did not physically see the weapon.
Okay.
I seen the light from when you shoot the gun, and you have the light and the sound.
Okay.
So that's what I heard.
Unlike Jaden, Alex saw the shooter.
When he got out, he had his hoodie on, and he turned to face towards north, and all I see is the side of his forehead. So literally right here.
The figure turned just enough for Alex to catch a fleeting glimpse of his forehead. He wasn't tall, perhaps 5'6", maybe 5'7". Then the arm lifted, partially concealed by the roofline of the car. Alex didn't need to see the weapon itself. The sound made it unmistakable. 6 rapid flashes erupted in the darkness. 6 sharp bursts of light, each one punctuated by the crack of gunfire, each one sending a surge of adrenaline flooding through his body. In an instant, the Honda was gone, engine roaring, vanishing into the night. Alex didn't wait to see where it went. He pressed forward, his pulse pounding, gripped by the chilling certainty that he had witnessed something he was never meant to see. Meanwhile, first responders converged on the intersection. Police units sealed off the scene as paramedics rushed to the Range Rover, where a young woman sat slumped behind the wheel, blood seeping through her wounds.
Ma'am, I'm gonna cut your seatbelt, okay? I'm Officer Lipper with the Denver Police Department, okay?
An officer pressed his hands firmly against her wounds, desperate to slow the bleeding. The injuries were severe, multiple gunshot wounds, some striking her face. The situation was grim.
I'm just gonna keep some pressure on him, okay?
Yeah.
Hey, she took quite a few, about 4 or 5 rounds to the face.
How many? Is just she the only victim?
She's the only victim. She's totally bleeding.
They worked with urgency, rifling through her purse for identification, hoping for any clue to who she was.
See if I can find an ID in her purse.
Yeah. I don't know how you want to do this. You want to put the seat back as soon as you get to her?
Another officer called her name aloud, searching for a response. There was none.
What's your name? Can you tell me your name?
I'll get over it.
She was alone in the vehicle. No passengers. No one to explain what had happened. Just her, barely clinging to life, as officers scrambled to keep her alive. They adjusted the seat, fumbling with the controls to get better access. Every second mattered.
Hey, Scott, hold that seat.
It's not going.
Is there anything behind the seat?
No.
Call electric. Hang on, I've got it.
But a sobering reality was already setting in. This wasn't a traffic accident gone wrong. It was an execution, a targeted hit, and the shooter had already disappeared into the night. An officer circled to the rear of the Range Rover, shards of glass crunching beneath his boots. The back window was completely blown out. The windshield, too, was riddled with holes. He began counting them, one by one, each bullet hole a stark reminder of the brutality that had unfolded on that quiet Denver street.
I counted 8 shots.
8?
Yeah, there's one right above the left windshield wiper. So that's 2 out of, like right there.
License plate. That's probably hers.
That's the same one as on the back.
Okay, that's probably hers.
8 bullet holes pierced the windshield alone. Another officer dug through the victim's purse once more, hoping for answers. Nothing. No wallet. No identification. Just an empty bag. Whoever she was, her name remained a mystery.
Hey, you got gloves? Nitrile gloves?
I got one.
There's just one here, pick it up, and there's one over here, pick it up.
Are you okay? What's your target?
I photographed it.
Gloved hands began collecting evidence. Shell casings, bullet fragments, every detail mattered now. And then, finally, a breakthrough. Inside the vehicle, an officer discovered something that revealed her identity.
Might be a Pamela.
Is that her birth?
Yeah, I'm trying to find an ID.
Is there more than anybody else?
No, it's just one person. Could you hold that open while I look through it, please?
Her name was Pamela Cabriales. She was 32 years old, a Denver real estate agent heading home after dinner with a friend that night. Pamela had no ties to gangs, no criminal record, just a hard-working mother devoted to her 6-year-old son, Leo. Pamela fought for her life in the hospital for several days, but the damage was too great. In the end, she didn't survive. A mother was gone, and a little boy was left waiting for someone who would never come home. Just hours later, an officer made a connection. The assailant's car matched the description from another incident, shots fired into a McDonald's. In that case, the suspects had led police on a brief pursuit before crashing, then fleeing on foot through a nearby neighborhood. Surveillance captured 2 of them sprinting down a sidewalk, disappearing into the night. The very next day, another Denver officer spotted a Honda linked to that same McDonald's shooting, a gang-related attack where multiple rounds had been fired. At the time, he didn't realize this was the same vehicle tied to Pamela Cabriales' murder. Still, the occupants needed to be stopped and questioned. When police attempted a traffic stop, the suspects bolted. Sirens wailed as a short chase erupted, ending only when the Honda lost control and crashed. 3 teenagers jumped out, scattering into a quiet neighborhood. At first, they ran one direction, then suddenly doubled back, cutting through yards and sidewalks in a frantic attempt to escape capture. Surveillance cameras captured 2 of the suspects sprinting down a sidewalk before abruptly doubling back. Moments later, they slipped into a nearby shed, hoping to hide. But the police were already closing in. Officers swarmed the neighborhood, sealing off escape routes. Within minutes, all 3 teenagers were in custody. A search of the Honda uncovered spent shell casings. More were discovered inside the shed where they had been hiding. The caliber matched the evidence from Colfax. The vehicle description lined up as well. The question was inescapable. Were these 3 teenagers responsible for the murder of Pamela Cabriales? Authorities intended to find out. The first suspect was identified as 14-year-old Remy Cordova. Because of his age, he could not be questioned alone. In the interrogation room, his mother sat beside him as detectives began to press for answers.
I'm going to advise you of your rights, and then I'm going to leave the room, and you 2 need to talk about whether or not you want to talk about this investigation or not. Okay?
Did she cut him off to stop an admission of guilt, or was she simply struggling to process what her son had gotten himself into? No one could say for sure. But one truth was undeniable. The gang life carried real consequences. And now, 14-year-old Remy Cordova was a suspect in a murder case. Inside the station, away from public view, Remy sat with his mother by his side. Detectives asked whether he went by another name. Was he known on the streets as Little Roe? Before he could respond, his mother intervened, shielding him from saying too much. When the officers stepped out briefly, the atmosphere in the room shifted.
I'm done, so like, it's something totally different. Yeah.
Are you guys done talking?
Yeah.
I'm going to turn the video back on, okay?
Yes, sir. Do you have my phone number?
The camera clicked back on, and her demeanor revealed what words did not. She seemed to know Remy was involved. No explanations. No denials. Just a signature on the refusal form. And the interview was over. The video shut off. Remy remained silent, But silence didn't erase what investigators already knew. His name was in the system. His face was tied to gang activity. His juvenile record spoke volumes. But the next suspect was far less guarded. 18-year-old Nishan Johnson, the driver of the Honda that night, had plenty to say. Detectives wasted no time. Where had he been? Who was with him? And what really happened on Colfax Avenue that night?
So, Nishan, I just want to figure out what's going on, what happened. If you could just kind of take me through the events tonight, where you were, what was going on, who you were with, and don't worry about me writing. You don't need to catch up. Just go and I'll catch up with you. I'm just taking down some things. Don't worry about any of that, okay? That's just for me. So if you want to just start, work backward or forward, however you want to do that. I mentioned westbound Colfax I-25. Do you know what I'm talking about with that?
No.
Okay.
When detectives brought up Colfax and I-25, Johnson hesitated. His response was vague. He claimed he didn't know what that was about. The officers pressed again, asking him to walk them through his night step by step.
Well, let's talk how just your night went, where you were. Let's start with that.
I was with my auntie and my god sister.
Okay.
It was like Jewel. It's like behind. It's Pharaoh and Jewel behind the McDonald's. I was there all day with them and chilling with them, and then I left. But around 12, 11? No, it was like 11, because I think police got behind us like around 12 o'clock. So they came and picked me up at 12.
At first, Johnson stuck to his story. He insisted he had nothing to do with the shooting. But as the timeline unraveled, so did his account. He said he had been at Ant's place, and that afterward, a friend came to pick him up.
When you mentioned 12, are we talking 12 noon during the day or 12 midnight at night?
Like towards night.
Okay.
I was there, I was at my baby mom's, then I left. And then I went to my cousin's, and then my partners came to pick me up.
According to him, the texts started around 9:55 p.m. Messages telling his friend to be ready. By 11 p.m., he claimed, they came to get him. But his wording betrayed him. At first, he made it sound like only one person was involved. Then, in a moment of carelessness, he referred to they. The detective caught it instantly.
Okay, and I ask it because you say they. When you say they, it leads me, and I'm not trying to trick you, I'm saying they leads me to believe there's more than one person. Yeah. If you're not saying he came to get me, you're saying they came to get me. So who's with him when he comes?
He had a partner in the car.
Okay.
But I didn't know him, so I don't even deal with him. You feel me? I wasn't even talking to him. So
where was he sitting in the car?
He was in the back seat.
Okay.
When I came out, by the time I came out, he was in the back seat.
Is he black, white, or Hispanic?
To be honest, he looked at white to me, you feel me? But I wasn't really paying attention to him.
Okay. Was he kind of slim like yourself, or kind of husky or fat like
huskier,
me? Okay.
Probably. I don't know.
You catch his name?
No.
The detective kept pressing. Where was this friend sitting? What did he look like? Were there any weapons in the car? Johnson dismissed the questions, claiming he wasn't paying attention. But the detective wasn't buying it. The more Johnson talked, the more his story began to shift. And with every inconsistency, the cracks in his account widened. When asked why he ran from police, Johnson tried to deflect. He blamed the icy roads, saying it had been too difficult to stop. The detective wasn't convinced. He circled back, asking again why Johnson hadn't simply pulled over.
Why? Tell me more about why you didn't stop.
Cause I don't have no driver's license, I ain't gonna lie, that's the only thing. If I had a driver's license, I'd pulled over. But I don't have no driver's license, so...
That's when Johnson admitted he didn't have a driver's license. Without one, he said, fleeing seemed like the better option. But that explanation only raised more questions.
When you see the police on the side of you, as you're driving, you make the turn, hit the curb, they light you up, you decide not to stop. When you notice the police, who notices them first, you or the other two guys in the car?
To be honest, we all did, because they was right next to us.
Tell me more about the conversation going on in the car about the 5-0 being next to you.
And we were just like, police right next to us. I was like, I'm going home.
Okay.
Johnson insisted he just wanted to get home. But when the detective steered the conversation toward the others in the car, Johnson became defensive, repeating the same line, that he was only trying to get home. The detective didn't let go. He knew there was more beneath the surface, and Johnson's story wasn't holding together.
Did Lil Roe or the guy in the car talk about being on one, or being, if they had a heater in the car, or being concerned about the police bumping you guys up with anything in the car?
Nah, see, they didn't tell me trying to worry about nothing. They was like, big bro, cool, you feel me? It was like, I guess they were trying to hide it from, cause I get on their ass, you feel me? If y'all doing something stupid, you feel me? Come to my house, nigga, we could eat, food, treat, whatever y'all want, y'all could come to my house. Y'all don't have to do no dumb, you feel me? Cause nigga, I just got through done doing that. Group home, foster home, so I don't want to be done in and out of jail. Nigga, I got 2 kids. I got 2 little girls, so nigga, anybody younger than me, I take them under my wing and I try to show them anything better.
Okay.
And they know if they tell me anything stupid, I'm gonna go off on them. So that's probably the reason why they didn't tell me nothing, whatever they did.
Okay.
Before they came, cause I've been on their ass, and then I wouldn't even got in the car. Like, what are y'all doing?
Okay.
Like, come on, cuz don't. I'm mad they put me in a predicament like this anyway. Like, nigga, don't put me in a predicament like that. But
so
Nishan insisted he had no idea what the others were planning. He claimed no one mentioned weapons. No one talked about being worried about the police. He tried to distance himself from the chaos, painting himself as just another passenger caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. But the detective wasn't convinced. Nishan admitted that when the car crashed, he bailed and hid in a shed. He said he froze, waiting until officers eventually found him. But to the detective, it sounded like there was more to the story, something Nishan wasn't ready to say. According to him, the other 2 ran the moment they had the chance. He said he had no choice but to follow, scrambling out into a city he barely knew. Denver wasn't home. Georgia was. The detective let him talk, but never let him steer the conversation too far.
So tell me more about getting into the shed.
I was just in the shed and I went to sleep. After I went to sleep, I hear people. And then that's when I was just in the shed, and that's when the dog came in.
Okay.
Dog come in. I'm surprised the dog didn't attack me. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I'm sleep blessed today. Cause the dog didn't exactly attack me. He smelled me, walked away, smelled me again, walked away. And then after that,
Nishan thought he might slip through, maybe get lucky. But when the SWAT team closed in, luck was no longer on his side. The K-9 was released, surging forward in full takedown mode.
when the SWAT team came in, that's when he started tripping for real. When the dude said or some command, he was on it. And that's when he chipped me. He chipped my back and my foot. I was like, hey, I don't none of that. I don't want to get bit. Whatever y'all say.
Nishan didn't resist. He knew what would happen if he fought back. He surrendered the moment commands were shouted. Still, the detective pushed harder. Was anyone else in that shed with him?
Okay.
And it was like, okay.
At any time when you're in the shed, did you meet up with Lil Roe or the other white guy?
No, they never came back.
So was you in the shed all by yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody else was with you?
Nope.
And was it in a front yard, a backyard?
I was in the back medium. That was weird type to be honest.
Did you know whose shed it was?
Nuh-uh.
Did you know whose house it was?
Nuh-uh.
Nishan stuck to his claim. He was alone the entire time. But the detective wasn't buying it. His version of events was unraveling with every retelling. So the detective circled back, forcing him to relive each moment. Who said what, who did what, and how it all went down.
What is the conversation in the car?
There really was no conversation in the car. But they could go.
I'm sorry?
I said it wasn't no conversation in no car, but go.
But go?
Yes.
Why was that?
I don't know.
Okay. Earlier you told me because you didn't have a license.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have no license, but that's what they was telling me. You said what was the conversation?
Okay.
You feel me? You said what conversation did we have while the police was behind us?
And who was telling you to go?
Little bro. He was like, bro, just go. You feel me? I mean, don't have no license. Okay. You feel me? I'm not finna pull off.
Did little bro say he was hot?
Nah.
Did he say
nigga go? Go.
Okay.
You know how Nowadays, this young generation gonna run from the police or do anything from the police. Now, you feel me? So
you
that's
listened to
how it
him.
was.
So you listened to him and you went.
That's how it was. You feel me? Type shit.
Okay.
This time, Nishan shifted the blame. He pointed the finger at Remy Cordova. According to him, Remy panicked, shouting at him to drive. He didn't want to run. He reminded the detective he didn't even have a license. But Remy kept pushing, so he hit the gas. The detective leaned in, asking how long the chase lasted. Minutes? Seconds? Nishan hesitated. His answers didn't line up.
From the point you saw the police to the point that it gets slippery and you end up crashing, how much time passed?
I don't know.
How much would you say? A minute? 5 minutes? 30 seconds?
I say a minute.
Okay. And then when you crash, what do you do?
Get out the car and run.
Okay. Did anybody
Go
tell
to
you?
a shed.
Huh?
And go to a shed.
Okay.
I went to the shed I was in.
Again, the detective pressed. Who ran with you? Did anyone follow? Still, Nishan clung to his story.
Right. Anybody go with you to the shed?
No.
Did anybody follow you?
No.
How
I was in there
certain?
by myself.
Okay, you're in there by yourself.
Yes. I was in there by myself the whole, 2-3 hours. I took a nap and all.
But the detective wasn't just probing about where Nishan had hidden. He was after something far more important. He zeroed in on the crucial window of time, the 1 minute when everything collapsed at once. The flashing lights, the chase, the crash, the frantic escape.
In that 1 minute when you see the police, and then you go, you crash, you get out, you dip, and you go to the shed, you say by yourself, right?
Yeah.
Anybody give you anything before you got out of the car?
No.
Anybody ask you to hold anything?
Nishan had been adamant that he was alone in the shed. He denied anyone handed him anything. But then, the detective dropped a bombshell, evidence that threatened to blow his story apart.
Okay. You know why I'm asking all these questions? Because the shed you were found in, those shell casings match at our murder scene. Can you explain that to me? And you said nobody's in the shed with you. Okay? You're in there by yourself. But the same caliber shell casing that's in the shed where you're at is the same caliber at our murder scene. Can you explain that to me? If nobody handed you anything?
No, nobody handed me nothing.
Okay, so how did that end up in the shed with you? Oh, I ain't gonna cut it.
I don't know.
Okay.
The detectives kept pressing. This was Nishan's chance to come clean. Either he had been at the murder scene, or someone had handed him something that tied him directly to it. But the story he kept repeating simply didn't add up.
Your chance to be honest, okay? And I'm not saying you're not, so please don't be offended by that. Okay, but I don't know is not going to cut it. As I told you before when we first started, it's a homicide investigation. I told you you're not free to leave, okay? You remember that? Okay. If you were there for something or somebody asked you to hold on to something, I need to know, okay? And not just for myself, but for yourself. You got a kid, right?
2.
You want to see those kids grow up?
Yes.
Do you want to be able to hold them and not be behind glass when you see them? Or do you want them to come and visit you during yard time? Again, I'm not threatening you, I'm not upset with you, but I'm telling you, this is the road we're going down. You're digging yourself a hole here, so if you have something, you know something, Nishan, now's the time to tell me. Okay, you tell me you were by yourself when you ran. Nobody else was in that shed. I asked you several times that question. You're adamant nobody was. Okay? So it's one of two things. Either you were there at that murder scene, or somebody gave you something to hold on to. So now's your chance to help yourself. Don't dig yourself a hole. You got one foot in this hole right now, Nishan. Okay?
Nishan stared blankly across the table, the weight of the moment finally settling in. The detective didn't back off. The pressure was mounting, and now Nishan had a choice: cling to his story or start talking.
What would you like to do? You want to tell me who gave you something, or if you were there, come clean and tell me.
They ain't give me that, and I wasn't there.
Okay?
White boy just hopped out with me.
Okay.
After a long pause, he shifted, almost as if the memory had just come back to him. Or at least, that's how he made it sound. Suddenly, there was someone else in the shed. He called him the white boy.
But I didn't know he had nothing, you feel me? And guys left the shed.
I'm sorry,
So,
he did what?
He went in the shed with me, you feel me? He came in the shed with me and him. But then after that, cuz left, you feel me? That's why I was the only in there, because he was like, "The police in here, cuz. They about to come in here." And then he left, and I wasn't finna just, because he wasn't going nowhere.
Okay.
So I stayed in there.
Right.
On everything. He came in there with me. He dropped all the shells. And then after that, guys was like, "Oh, the police, bro," and freaked out and left.
The detective's face didn't change. He had seen this before. When suspects begin to feel cornered, their stories start to crack. What had been solid moments earlier began to shift, details changing, rearranging. A few minutes ago, Nishan swore he had been alone. Now he wasn't.
He ain't tell me nothing on everything. He was, when we got in there, I was like hearing pennies. Like I thought it was pennies at first, because I didn't know what it was in his hand. And I was like, "Bro, stop." I was like, "Bro, stop before the police come in or something, or they hear you." I was like, "Alright, bro." And I didn't realize it was shells on there until police flashed the light. You feel me? But I thought it was something else, like he was playing with pennies or something.
Okay.
But I was like, "Bro, stop. Like, bro, stop playing with that, bro." He was like, "Bro, it's my fault, bro." And then after that, nigga, when the police came, nigga, they were shells. So, then again, I think he dropped the shells and knew the police was finna come in and they just leave, you feel me? Because he didn't tell me he was leaving, because I swear to God, I took a nap. I took a nap, and then when I heard, like, the dog, I woke up and I stood up. And the dog smelled me, passed me by. Because that's what really tripped me out, when the dog just smelled me and just left. I was like, what the?
And the white boy hadn't just been hiding in the shed with him. He had brought something along. Nishan claimed he thought the boy was just fooling around, playing with pennies. But looking back, he realized it hadn't been coins at all. It had been shell casings. The detectives let the silence stretch, watching Nishan struggle to keep his story straight. Moments ago, he claimed he had been alone. Now, suddenly, White Boy was there. Earlier, he swore no one handed him anything. Now, White Boy might have dropped something. At first, Nishan said he simply sat in the shed. Now he insisted he had dozed off, only to be jolted awake by flashing lights and a K9 closing in. The contradictions piled up, and the detective knew it. Nishan was unraveling in real time. The story was shifting too quickly, and the pressure was exposing the cracks. The detective kept pressing, peeling back each new layer. It was only a matter of time before Nishan slipped again, and when he did, the truth, whatever it was, would come spilling out. And then Nishan's account twisted once more. At first, there had been no weapons, but now he remembered hearing about one.
Did you ever see any guns? Did they ever talk about the heaters they had?
Nah, they had a gun in the back seat.
Tell me about that.
But I don't know what type of gun it was.
That's okay.
Tell me about that. We got a gun in the back seat. I was like,
hold on. Who said that?
The white dude in the back. He was
So?
like, I got the gun in the back seat. And I was like, that's cool for you. And I kept driving. Like, I wasn't really paying attention to that. I was
So he
just
says,
trying
I got
this gun in the back seat.
this gun in the back
And
seat.
that's when I, like, right when we was at the light.
Is this when the 50 pulls up or
Not
before? So tell me more about that. How does that conversation come up?
I walked in. I walked in.
The detective let him talk, giving him space to spin his version of events. But every new detail only made his story less believable. One moment he was alone. The next, he wasn't. One moment there were no weapons. The next, there was at least one. And through it all, Nishan cast himself as just a bystander, some kid along for the ride barely paying attention. But the detectives weren't buying it. The inconsistencies told a different story.
The bro was on the phone.
With who?
I don't even know.
Okay, what was he saying?
He was saying after he had dropped me off, he was gonna go over there.
After hours of questioning, it became clear the detectives had reached their limit with Nishan. He wasn't cracking, but he wasn't steady either. His story bent and shifted with every round of pressure. reshaping itself just enough to avoid a direct admission. If the investigators wanted real answers, they would have to look elsewhere. The next person in line was the so-called white boy. If Nishan's shifting account held even a shred of truth, then this teenager might hold more pieces of the puzzle. Perhaps his version of events could finally bring some clarity to the chaos. Because he was a minor, his mother and stepfather sat beside him as the interview began. And while both Remy and Nishan had denied any involvement in the shooting, this time was different. When pressed about the night in question, White Boy came clean.
Just kind of run me through, when I mentioned this this location, do you know what I'm talking about? At Colfax and I-25? Tonight? Or what happened last night? Can you take me through that, just from the beginning there? Who you were with, what was going on?
I was with my friends.
Okay.
He was driving right down I-25, whatever. And then we stopped, and then the car hit us in the back, smacked us. And my friend in the front, he asked the person in the driver's seat if he could shoot at him. And he hopped out and started shooting at him.
Okay.
The detective pressed for details, repeating back what he heard to make sure nothing was lost in translation.
I didn't hear you quite. So, if I have this wrong, correct me. You said you were stopped at a light.
We were stopped at a light, and someone came from behind us and smacked us with their car.
Okay.
And then that's when my friend and the passenger asked the person in the driver if he can shoot him. And then the person in the driver said yes, and then he hopped out and shot, and then he drove off.
Okay.
Bit by bit, the picture began to form. Now he zeroed in on the critical question. Who was involved?
How many people were in the car with you?
2.
So there was how many total, including yourself?
2.
Including
3.
3?
Yeah.
Okay. Where were you seated?
I was in the back seat.
Okay. Who was driving?
My friend's friend.
Okay, do you know his name? Do you know what he looks like? Yes or no?
Yes.
If you saw a photo of him, do you think you could ID him?
Yep.
Okay. Can you tell me if he was black, white, Hispanic?
Black.
Okay. About how old was he?
19.
Okay. Anything identifying about him? Scars, marks, tattoos, facial hair, piercings?
Right here.
Okay, what was that?
He has a big tattoo right here.
A big tattoo right there?
Yes.
What came out sounded almost casual, as if the teen was talking about anything but murder at a stoplight. The story was messy, fragmented, and it would take more work to untangle.
Car behind you guys smacked into you.
Yes.
Your friend Remy asked the driver if he could shoot this person?
Yes.
Why?
I don't know. He just asked him and he said yes.
Okay.
And when he started letting off, I told him to get back in the car.
Okay. Tell me more about when Remy gets out of the car.
He pulls the chopper out.
When the topic turned to the weapon, the teen referred to it offhandedly as a chop. The detective stopped him, demanding clarification.
So you say the chop. I know what that is. Aaron, your mom may know what that is. People watching this later on may not know what that is. What is a chop?
AR-15.
AR-15?
Yes.
Okay. What color was that?
Black.
Black.
The boy insisted he never left the car.
At any time did you get out of the car?
No, I told him to get back in the car.
Okay. And what does he do? Tell me more
He
about
just
that.
kept shooting, and then he finally got back in.
Okay.
After I started yelling at his head.
Okay, how many times did he shoot?
He let off like 7 rounds.
Okay.
But then came a strange detail. He claimed to remember exactly how many shots had been fired. The specificity didn't sit right, and the detective leaned in, studying him carefully.
Did anybody pick up anything there on the street? Did anybody pick up anything? Did anything fall? Phone, bullets, anything from the car fall out of the car that anybody picked up?
I don't know.
Okay.
And then came the moment of impact. The car that had tapped them from behind.
Do you remember what kind of car smacked into the back of you guys?
It was like this white car.
White car?
Yeah, it was a white van.
Like a white van?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember if the driver of that car was male, female, black, white, Hispanic?
I don't know.
Don't know?
All I know is he just hopped out and started shooting, and I told him to get back in.
The detective let the silence stretch, forcing the boy to sit with it. Then, calmly, He steered the conversation back to that one key detail.
The car smacked you guys from behind. What were you doing?
I was listening to music.
Okay. On what?
On my phone.
The moment the Honda collided with the vehicle in front of them, the teen said the impact had been strong enough that his head bounced off something inside the car.
How hard do you think the car smacks you from behind? Tell me more about that.
Smacked me up like this, hit my head.
Okay.
And then that's when Remy started getting mad. And that's when he asked him if he can shoot him. And he hopped down and started shooting at him. And then that's when I was like, get in the car, nigga, what are you doing? Like,
okay.
Keep going.
The detective pressed further. Was there any argument? Any words exchanged before the shooting?
Was there any verbal exchange between the person that hit you guys from behind?
Hell no.
Okay.
He just hopped out and started shooting it.
Okay.
The answer was blunt. No argument, no threats. Just gunfire. Immediate, unprovoked. It didn't make sense. The questioning shifted to the car itself.
Car you were in, how many times have you been in that car?
That was like the second time.
Okay, when was the first time?
Like a couple days before that.
Okay. Whose car is it?
I don't even know.
Okay, fair enough. So the car smacks you guys. What do you do after Remy gets back in the car?
I told him to get in the car, and then the person in the driver skirted off down Colfax.
Okay.
The detective didn't rush him. He let the teen talk, let the details surface naturally. They left the scene, he said, heading down Colfax.
Where do you guys go down Colfax? To where?
No, I don't know exactly where we went to his empty house, but we went down Colfax.
How far?
Like we just went straight down until when we got to like Union.
Okay. And then what do you do?
That's when we went to his auntie's house.
Okay. Where does the auntie live?
I low-key don't remember. I was sleeping.
Okay. Were you asleep when you pulled up?
Yeah.
But then came another twist. The teen claimed he had been asleep again. That detail stood out. He had said it once before. Now it was back. Next came the gun.
Remy shoots. What does he do with the AR?
Puts it in the car.
Where at in the car?
He put it in the back seat.
Okay. Where you're at?
Yeah, on the left side.
All right.
The detective absorbed the admission carefully. The weapon had been just inches away from him. He asked again where the boy had been sitting.
Where are you seated?
On the right side.
Behind the driver or behind Remy?
Behind the passenger.
Okay, so you're behind Remy.
At first he puts it in the car and he has it next to him, like right here on the floor.
Okay.
And then he puts it into the back when we're going down Colfax.
After the shooting?
Yeah, after when we get closer to his auntie's house.
Okay.
But that's when I just fell asleep. I don't even remember nothing else.
The answer didn't change. The detective made a mental note. That was the third time the teen had claimed he'd been asleep, as if repeating it would make it true. But there were still more questions to come.
At any time last night, Saturday night, baby mama's house, driving before you fell asleep, did you ever handle that AR? Meaning hold it, touch it?
No.
If I print it, am I going to find your fingerprints or your DNA on that gun?
No.
Okay.
I didn't handle that gun.
Okay.
I might have pushed it over, but I was not handling that gun.
Okay.
It was Remy, that's his gun.
All right.
If investigators later found his fingerprints on the gun, he explained, it would only be because he had pushed it out of his way.
If you would have pushed it over and touched it, what part would you have touched so I know?
Like on the top, like
on the stock, they call it the stock on the top.
Right here, like and then like right here, like
okay.
Next to the trigger, like you know the little piece that comes down like this.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, like right there, because I had to move it away from me. I pushed it over.
Okay.
And that's where my prints would be.
Okay.
The detective shifted the focus to the atmosphere inside the car.
Before you fall asleep, what's the discussion in the car about what just happened?
They don't even say nothing. They're not even talking.
Okay. At any point, even after Auntie's house, do you guys talk about this?
No, because I got woken up to getting yelled at. The cops are chasing us.
Okay.
And then that's when we crashed.
Right.
No one spoke about what had just happened. No arguing, no panic, just silence. And then, the chase.
Tell me more about being woken up that the cops are chasing you guys.
Remy was like, bro, the cops are chasing us. They're behind us, bro. They're behind us. And then I had woken up and I was sleeping in the back. And I was like, what? And I looked behind us and the cop is right behind us following us. And then the driver starts going fast, and then the cop turns the lights on. And then we go down this one street and we hit a big pothole, and then that's when the car went up and then he lost control, and then I don't even remember. All I know is I just got out the car.
The teen claimed the next thing he remembered was being outside the wreck, standing in the street.
Started walking up the block.
Did you walk or run? And if you ran, that's okay.
I started walking. The other two, Remy, he was running. I was just jogging. I was like,
okay.
Because, like, I didn't know he did something. I don't know he did something. Like,
Well, hold on a minute.
Like, I didn't know like something that bad happened. I didn't know someone got killed.
Well, but he fired an AR into a car.
I know.
What did you think was going to happen?
I don't know.
Okay, fair enough.
He said he was trying to aim towards the engine.
Okay.
That was his excuse. That was the story. The plan, he said, had been to take out the car, not the person inside. But was that true? Did Remy really believe that? Or was it just something easier to say after the fact?
You walk off. Why don't you stay there?
Because, like, there's guns in the car. I'm not even gonna lie to you, it was a stolen car. I didn't know that until a couple of days before, like yesterday. So that's why I was jogging. And then, yeah.
That's why you were what?
I was jogging up the street.
Okay.
Like, I didn't take off how they was running, because they was running fast. I was just like speed walking.
He didn't sprint like the others, but he wasn't about to stand there waiting for the police to close in either.
Do you meet up with either Remy or the driver?
Yeah, the driver.
Tell me about that.
I met him when I was walking. I saw him in an alleyway.
Okay. Where was he?
He was in that little alleyway where he was just in the alleyway, and I just saw him walking.
Okay. Where did you guys go?
I kept walking. I was just like, there's a cops all throughout the block. Like,
well, he tells me that he's with you.
He said that to you.
Yeah. Okay. So when he says you guys went in the alleyway, where were you guys?
We was in the alleyway.
Okay.
That's where I saw him first, but then after that, we went out of the alleyway into the neighborhood.
Okay, tell me more about going in the neighborhood.
We started walking through the neighborhood.
Okay, where do you go?
I don't know, over there in Lakewood, but we were just walking around the blocks and we just seen there was cops on every single block.
Okay. Where were you found?
I was found in the alleyway.
Okay. In what?
It's the alleyway. I was just walking down the alleyway and they told me to freeze and get on my knees.
Let me get to the point. Were you in a shed? Yes or no?
No.
Never in a shed?
No, I wasn't in the shed. I might have been in someone's backyard, but I was not in the shed.
Okay, if you were in a backyard, who were you with?
I was with the driver.
Okay. What'd you and the driver discuss?
We didn't discuss nothing. I was just like, bro, I'm not finna get in trouble for this. And I just walked out the alleyway. I was like, I do not care. Like, bro, I didn't do shit.
Okay.
But like, what am I getting in trouble for? For y'all doing it.
Okay. And I apologize about earlier about the hypothermia. That's not you. That's my fault. Okay. So I apologize about that. Okay.
Because I was like, because we're standing in the backyard and I'm like, bro, you sound dumb if you think we're gonna get away. There's cops on every single block. You sound stupid. So I'm like, he stays there in the backyard. I'm like, all right, bro, peace out. I walk out of the alleyway. They got me.
Okay.
I didn't do nothing, so I'm gonna be like, all right, freely like.
Eventually, the detective stepped out, leaving the boy with his mother and stepfather. There was no soft landing, no careful words to cushion what was coming. They put it all on the table.
Now you're gonna end up doing time over someone else's boy.
How am I doing time over someone?
Because someone died. Someone died. This isn't. It doesn't matter what you know or what you think you didn't know. Someone died last night. Someone died. This isn't a game. This is like a big deal. This isn't like, oh, you stole a car and didn't go to school. Like, someone lost their life, dude.
Behind somebody's dumb shit that you was in the car with.
His stepfather leaned in, piling on, reminding him of the choices that had led him here, the path that had brought him to this interrogation room.
riding around thinking that this is hot shit.
He obviously doesn't give a fuck about anything. His life, his kid's life, anybody's life, apparently. And you're hanging out with him. Do you think he gives a fuck? Obviously not. This cop don't know if you touched that gun or not.
The police didn't know for certain whether he had touched the gun. Maybe he hadn't. But by this point, that detail no longer mattered. What mattered was clear. He was tied to something far bigger than he ever imagined, and there was no walking away from it now. When the detective returned, his tone had shifted. This was no longer a round of questions. It was about evidence, something concrete.
This next question is important, okay? I'm going to ask you this. Be honest with me. Okay? Did you shoot?
No.
Okay, and I'm asking you that because
Did I say I did?
someone independent said they saw you. They described you to a T in what you're wearing, that you were the shooter.
I promise I was not the shooter.
Okay, well, promise ain't going to cut it.
I wasn't the shooter.
So,
Remy hopped out and shot him.
Okay.
The detective didn't want assurances. He wanted proof. And when he mentioned DNA testing, the teen faltered.
So again, when I swab for DNA, am I going to find your DNA on that trigger guard on that rifle? On that AR-15, am I going to find your DNA?
Probably because I moved it.
That hesitation said more than words. He admitted he had touched the gun, moved it out of his way, but insisted that didn't mean he had fired it.
Someone said it was me.
Yes. Yes.
I'm going to step over here real quick.
Okay.
Someone said it was me.
Yeah. Okay.
I know I didn't shoot. I know for a fact I didn't shoot.
The weight of the accusations began to settle on his shoulders. Across the table, his mother could no longer contain her emotions.
Help me explain why I should believe you.
I mean, you don't have to believe me, but...
No, he has to believe you, dog. That's the thing.
The room grew heavy with silence. The boy repeated it again, softer this time, almost as if he were trying to convince himself. He knew he didn't shoot.
Look,
listen to me.
I know I didn't shoot that gun. I know I didn't because he even asked Rashawn if he can shoot before he even shot the gun and hopped out.
The detective cut through the excuses. Point blank, he told the teen he wasn't buying the story. A shooting had just taken place. A woman was dead, and now this boy wanted him to believe he had simply fallen asleep?
And all those times, how many times after that have you fallen asleep? Because you know how many people sat in that chair and told me the same thing you're telling me? Because I don't believe you. Okay.
I never felt like I really fell asleep.
Well, I find it hard to believe you
When
just...
we was at his auntie's house, I really fell asleep.
Okay.
I was just laying down in the back with a blanket, slouched.
So you've just witnessed a shooting that's turned into a homicide, and you're telling me now you've fallen asleep? I know you didn't. But my point is somebody shot with an AR-15, a high-power rifle, and you're telling me within an hour after, within 30 minutes, you fall asleep?
I really did fall asleep. Like,
Okay.
For real. I really, for real.
Okay.
I really did fall asleep in the back.
Okay.
And then they woke me up saying the cops were behind us.
Who's they?
Remy and Rashawn.
Okay. Did you ask them to stop?
Huh?
Did you ask them to stop?
Yes. I was like, bro, why are you going so fast? He was just going fast.
Tell me more about that.
And he just going fast, and he just smacking everything in his way. And then we get to the main street, and we go down. It's a hill. Boom, pothole. Flip up. I hit my head, and then I don't remember it. I just hopped out.
Okay.
Like, all I know is I just started, like, flying around in the car, hitting my head on everything.
All right.
The detective leaned in, studying him. If he truly had nothing to hide, why had he run? Why not stay put when the officers arrived?
If you've done nothing wrong, just explain to me the best you can. Why do you leave? Why do you walk off? Why don't you stay outside the car when the police show up? Why do you walk off?
Because I thought I was going to get in trouble for the guns. The gun was right next to me.
Okay.
The AR-15 was on the left of me, like I told you. Remy put it in the back, and then that's when I moved it over to the left of me.
Okay.
So I was not trying to get in trouble for two guns that was in the car, and they was going to leave me.
Okay.
They was going to leave me. They already ran.
Okay.
And then came the harder questions. What about the bullets? Had he picked up any shell casings?
How about any casings, any live rounds did you pick up or have on your person or in your
I
possession?
found some 22s on the floor, and I picked them up and put them in my pocket.
Tell me more about that.
That's it. I found some.
Okay, what'd you do with them?
I put it in my pocket.
And then what'd you do with them?
Nothing. They were just in my pocket.
Okay. Did you ever see the driver, or you're calling Rashawn, did you ever see him with any ammunition or any spent shell casings? You know what spent shell casings are?
Like, after you done shooting? I think I had the 223s.
Huh?
I had the 223s from the AR-15.
Who did?
Rashawn.
Why
it
did
was
he?
all through the car.
Okay.
And I guess some of them landed on him.
Okay. Did you have any?
He threw in another curveball. Nishan, he said, had already claimed the boy had casings in his possession.
Okay. Why would he say that you had them and you dropped them?
He said I had them?
Yes.
He's lying. I never had that.
Okay.
I never had no shell casing that was empty.
Okay.
I only had those little 22s that I found on the ground.
The detective let the words linger. Then after a long pause stood up. The interrogation was over. In the end, the truth emerged piece by piece. The teen's story was riddled with gaps, and detectives knew it. But the bigger picture was clear. 14-year-old Remy Cordova had pulled the trigger that night, and in an instant Pamela Cabriales' life was stolen. Prosecutors later revealed Cordova's motive. He was trying to climb the ranks in the gang world. His case was deemed too severe for juvenile court, and was moved to district court. He was charged as an adult with first-degree murder and first-degree attempted murder, the second charge stemming from another driver who had been caught in the line of fire but escaped unharmed. In court, Remy Cordova addressed Pamela's family.
I want y'all to really know I feel for y'all, and I understand completely, and I'm terribly sorry for the pain that you guys feel. But I cannot take responsibility for something that I did not do.
But in November 2023, he was found guilty. His sentence, life in prison, with the possibility of parole after 40 years. At just 16 years old, his fate was sealed for decades. Nishan Johnson, the driver that night, did not escape justice either. In June 2023, he was convicted of multiple charges, including second-degree murder, criminal attempt to commit manslaughter, and vehicular eluding. He was sentenced to 35 years in prison. The third passenger, the teen from the interrogation room, did not face charges in Pamela's murder. His story was inconsistent, his details messy, but in the end, the evidence didn't place him at the trigger. As for Pamela, her family refuses to let her name fade into the darkness. Her memory lives on through her son, Leo.
Both my son and I have gone through all grievance stages. What do you do when your child asks you, who's going to take care of me if you die, Daddy? I'm sad because I don't want to lose you. I remember going to this place with my mommy before she died.
Do you think a 14-year-old who commits such a violent act should ever be given the chance of parole? What impact do you think cases like this have on families and communities when gang violence spills into innocent lives? If you found this story compelling, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more true crime cases, and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Your feedback helps bring these stories to light and keeps the discussion going.